Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. These are the top headlines from our newsroom today. Over 200,000 doses of Covid-19 vaccine arrive in the Sultanate. Covid-19 vaccine safe for lactating mothers, women planning to conceive. Health workers in Oman's South Al-Batana receive first jab. More than 100 Covid-19 hospitalizations within 24 hours. Oman Airports get approval to operate Fahood Airport. Electrical wiring licenses not to be issued or renewed for expats. UK reports another 5,341 new coronavirus cases. Bangladesh approves second Chinese vaccine for emergency use. Roger Federer withdraws from French Open. These were the top headlines from our news studio today. Let's see how the weather condition looks like in the Sultanate in our weather update.
This is Maytha Chukeri with today's weather update, and right now I'm reporting from inside the TFM studio in Al Khoir. Before we move on to our weather update, here is our fact for the day. In August 2015, 9 months following the Snowvember storm, there was a spike of 25 to 30% in the number of babies born in Buffalo, New York. That is our fact for the day. Now let's take a look at how the weather will be like in the Sultanate. According to Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authorities, there will be clear to partly cloudy skies along the coastal areas of the Far and adjoining mountains with intermittent drizzle. There's chances of late night to early morning low-level clouds or fog patches along the coastal areas of the Arabian Sea and Oman Sea. And there's also chances of cloud formation over Al-Hajr Mountains in the afternoon, and it may give isolated rain. Now let's take a look at how the weather will be like in all the governorates. Muscat will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 35 to 28 degrees Celsius. Muscat will be sunny, temperatures between 36 to 31 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batana will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 33 to 30 degrees Celsius. South Al-Batana will be expecting thunderstorm, temperatures between 37 to 27 degrees Celsius. Al-Buraymi will be sunny, temperatures between 46 to 30 degrees Celsius. Al-Dhahira will have a sandstorm, temperatures between 47 to 32 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhiliya will be expecting thunderstorm, temperatures between 44 to 29 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiyya will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 41 to 26 degrees Celsius. South Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 39 to 29 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be experiencing sandstorm, temperatures between 46 to 28 degrees Celsius. And the Far will be expecting thunderstorm, temperatures between 28 to 22 degrees Celsius.
Welcome back to TTV, watching Midday Update. Now, before we get into the details of the local stories for the day, let's see how the COVID-19 situation looks like in the Sultanate. The Ministry of Health has announced the registration of 11 new death cases due to coronavirus in Oman today. This has taken the total toll to 2,424. The Ministry of Health has also extended their deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. Moreover, the Ministry of Health has also announced the registration of 1,216 new coronavirus cases in Oman today. The total cases in the country have now touched 225,095, including 205,305 recoveries, as well as 2,424 deaths. In the last 24 hours, the Ministry of Health has also registered 825 recoveries. The ministry urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. And now from a local desk. A new batch of 210,000 coronavirus vaccines have arrived in Oman on Sunday, the Oman News Agency announced. A statement issued online by the ONA said a new batch of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine against the COVID-19 virus arrived in the Sultanate through Muscat International Airport, and it includes 210,000 doses. Moreover, talking on the lines of vaccines, members of the Supreme Committee tasked with tackling developments resulting from coronavirus pandemic on Sunday visited the immunization center at Sultan Qaboos Sports Complex to have a close look at the process of vaccination of target segments against COVID-19 as part of the ongoing national immunization campaign. The committee members listened to a briefing about the procedures set from the start of registration of target segments to the movement of vaccination. They were updated about the mechanisms of coordination and reception of entitled groups as well as precautionary measures undertaken. They commended the resolute turnout of citizens and residents who came forward to take the vaccine. Dr. Abdullah Nasir Al-Haresi, Minister of Information and the member of the Supreme Committee, pointed out that the visit aims to follow up the implementation of the anti-COVID-19 immunization plan. Dr. Abdullah said that the Supreme Committee urges all target segments to take the vaccine to protect themselves, their families, and society from the disease. He also underscored the significance of individuals' commitment to the measures announced by the authorities concerned, including adherence to social distancing and avoiding all sorts of assembling. He stressed that taking the vaccine is the most efficient way of securing self-protection. He continued saying that undoubtedly many commercial and economic activities around the world have been seriously impacted by procedures undertaken by countries for protection against this dangerous disease, and the Sultanate is no exception. Since the outbreak of the pandemic, Oman has undertaken elaborate measures that maintain a balance between public health and business activities. Experts predict that the whole world will shift between closure and opening of business activities till such a time that the vaccine shows positive results in overcoming the disease. He lastly said that operating under close follow-up by His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, we now witness the unfolding of a great plan of safe vaccination that covers all segments of society. Lactating women and women who are planning to conceive can also take the COVID-19 vaccine if they are among the target groups and have no other contraindications to vaccination, said the Ministry of Health. A statement issued online by the Ministry of Health said, the vaccine can be given to lactating women if they are among the target groups and have no other contraindications to vaccination. It is not recommended to stop breastfeeding when taking the vaccine. The Ministry of Health also added that the vaccine can also be given to women who are planning to become pregnant if they are among the target groups and have no other contraindications to the vaccination. There is no need to leave any time between taking the vaccine and conceiving. Health workers in private health institutions in South Al-Batna Governorate have started to receive the first dose of the Russian Sputnik V vaccine. A statement issued online by the Directorate General said, the Directorate General of Health Services in South Al-Batna Governorate announces the start of administering the first dose of the Russian Sputnik V vaccine to all health workers in private health institutions in the Governorate as of today, June 7, 2021. The Russian Sputnik V vaccine will be given to health workers in private health institutions in the vilayats of Rostaq and Al-Awabi at the Golden Medical Complex in Rostaq between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. and for those in the vilayats of Barka, Al-Musanna, Nakhal and Wadi Al-Mawil at Badr Sama Hospital in the vilayat of Barka from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., the statement added. More than 100 new COVID-19 patients were hospitalized in the last 24 hours in Oman, according to statistics made available on the government's Tarassud app on Monday. The coronavirus monitoring app launched by the Ministry of Health showed that the number of those hospitalized during the past 24 hours have reached 114 and 297 patients were admitted to ICU, bringing the total number of patients admitted to health institutions to 966 cases, the highest ever since the start of the pandemic. For the first time since the pandemic, the total number of cases in hospitals crossed 930 cases, with 297 cases in intensive care as of today. A social activist and data analyst reading the data from the Ministry of Health pointed to a significant decrease in new cases of coronavirus infections and ICU patients in the region. Speaking exclusively to the Times of Oman, Ibrahim Al-Maimani, a social activist and data analyst, said, the month of June 2021 will be very difficult in terms of the number of infections and inpatients in hospitals, as the number of COVID-19 infections in the Sultanate exceeds 1,000 per day, while the number of inpatients within 24 hours is very high, and during the past week, records were at 124 and 140 cases. He confirmed that for the first time, we reached 937 cases in hospitals on Sunday, and for the first time, we also reached 290 cases again on Sunday in intensive care, both of which are the highest since the start of the pandemic. He said that when analyzing the statistics from the beginning of June until today, corresponding to June 6th, we note that an increase in new cases during these days above 1,000 cases, which led to a decrease in the recovery rate from 92% to 91.3%. The number of inpatients in hospitals increased by 16%, that is 129 cases from 808 cases at the end of May to 937 cases as on June 6th. As for the intensive care cases, their number at the end of May reached 247, and on June 6th, the number reached 290, with an increase of 43 cases at a rate of 17%. About the deaths due to COVID-19, El-Memani said 68 deaths have been recorded since the beginning of the month at a rate of 11.3 deaths per day, which is the rate closest to the highest death rate in the Sultanate, that is 11.5 deaths per day recorded in April of this year. The Civil Aviation Authority in the Sultanate of Oman has accorded approval for Oman Airports to handle operations at Fahoud Airport after work on renovating the airport's runway is completed. A statement by the authority said the approval came after field visits of the authority's inspectors to determine the level of readiness of the runway and compliance with the International Civil Aviation Organization requirements. Electrical wiring license will not be issued or renewed for expatriates in the Sultanate. According to the statement issued by the Oman News Agency, the Authority for Public Services Regulations has declared that the issue of new permits or renewal of the existing permits for the electrical wiring license for expatriates are to be stopped. The licenses are to be issued exclusively to Omanis to implement the authority's strategy to raise the Omanization rate in the electrical sector, the statement added. 800 jobs for subcontractors working with licensed companies are to be Omanized by the initiative. This was all from our local desk for the day. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming from our international desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV, watching Midday Update. And now from our international desk. Britain reported another 5,341 coronavirus cases in the past 24 hours, bringing the total number of coronavirus cases in the country to 4,516,892, according to official figures that were released on Sunday. The country also recorded another 4 coronavirus-related deaths, bringing the total number of coronavirus-related deaths in Britain to 127,840. These figures only include the deaths of people who died within 28 days of their first positive test. Earlier Sunday, British Health Secretary Matt Hancock said the Delta variant first identified in India is about 40% more transmissible, adding that the protection against it is just as good with 2 doses of a vaccine. Hancock said that Delta variant makes life more challenging, and the British government is open to delaying England's planned unlocking on June 21st if needed. More than 40.3 million people, or more than 3/4 of adults in Britain, have been given the first jab of the coronavirus vaccine, according to the latest official figures. The British government is facing increasing pressure to delay the final step of unlocking restrictions in England on June 21st due to concerns over the spread of the Delta variant. Public Health England has said that the Delta variant is now the dominant strain in Britain. From May 17th, pubs, bars and restaurants in England were permitted to open indoors, while indoor entertainment resumed, including cinemas, museums and children's play areas. People were also allowed to travel abroad to a number of green list countries without having to quarantine upon return, as the ban on foreign travel has also been lifted. The British government's roadmap is expected to see all legal limits on social contact to be removed on June 21st. It is understood that a final decision on the planned easing of lockdown will not be made until June 14th. Experts have warned that coronavirus may continue to evolve for years to come, and eventually it is likely current vaccines will fail to protect against transmission, infection, or even against disease caused by newer variants. Bangladesh's drug regulator has authorized the emergency use of another Chinese COVID-19 vaccine in the country. Directorate General of Drug Administration, commonly known as DGDA, made the announcement on Sunday, saying CoronaVac, manufactured by Sinovac Life Sciences Co. Limited, is the fifth COVID-19 vaccine to get emergency use approval in Bangladesh. The DGDA gave the green light after the leading local pharmaceuticals company, Incepta Vaccine Limited, applied for its approval for emergency use in the country. CoronaVac has already received emergency use authorization in dozens of other countries. The World Health Organization has also issued emergency use listing status to the CoronaVac vaccine. Bangladesh's drug regulator had earlier authorized the emergency use of China's Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine. The Minister Counselor of the Chinese Embassy in Dhaka on Saturday said the second batch of Sinopharm vaccines donated by Chinese government is ready for delivery by June 13th. About 1,000 medical students from Bangladesh's 4 top leading medical colleges have recently taken their first shot of the COVID-19 vaccine thanks to Sinopharm vaccines donated by China. Bangladesh kicked off its COVID-19 vaccination drive on January 28 to rein in the pandemic that has so far spread across the country. On Sunday, the country's Directorate General of Health Services reported 1,676 new cases of COVID-19 and 38 new deaths, bringing the total number of total cases to 810,990 and the total death toll to 12,839. Once again, it's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned for more updates from a sports desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from a sports desk. Swiss tennis maestro Roger Federer on Sunday withdrew himself from the ongoing French Open, tournament organizers confirmed. The Roland Garros tournament organizers have learned that Roger Federer has withdrawn from the 4th round of the tournament, read an official statement. Speaking about his decision, Federer said, "After discussions with my team, I have decided I will need to pull out of the Roland Garros today. After 2 knee surgeries and over a year of rehabilitation, it is important that I listen to my body and make sure I do not push myself too quickly on my road to recovery." Federer on Sunday had stormed into the 4th round of the ongoing French Open. He defeated German lefty Dominik Kupfer in a grueling 7-6, 6-7, 7-6, 7-5 battle to reach the last 16 of the tournament. The 39-year-old began well as he served smartly, But his 59th ranked German opponent immediately showed that the game was not going to be a cakewalk as he hit heavy ground strokes on both wings to keep the Swiss back. The German tennis player took the second set to break Federer's rhythm. But after battling hard, the Swiss tennis maestro got over the line as he won the next 2 sets to sail into the 4th round. With this news, we have come to the end of the episode for today, but stay tuned as we'll be back again with Fighting COVID at 5 p.m. today. So stay tuned and keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.